So with that, I would like to call to order the Public Housing Authority Commission, our regular meeting. And clerk, will you please take the roll?
Chairman Hartkey,
Here.
Vice Chair Encinas,
Here.
Commissioner Loring is absent excused. Commissioner Poston,
Here.
Commissioner Ellis,
Here.
Commissioner Orlando,
Here.
Commissioner Harris,
Here.
and Commissioner Hawkins.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Do we have any unscheduled public appearances for tonight?
No, we do not.
All right. Council, we have a simple vote on our Public Housing Authority Commission. How would you like to proceed?
Chair. I would like to approve the consent agenda for items 1 and 2 for the Public Housing Authority Commission meeting convening today on February 2nd, 2026.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there a second?
Second.
We'll go second by Vice Commissioner. All right, Council, any questions or thoughts? Commissioner Orlando.
Thank you. Yeah, so I understand this is, who do I address my question to? Leah, or who do I?
Depends on the question.
Oh, here she comes. All right. All right, good, thanks. So I know, hi, I know we do this regular basis now. This is we have to pay for this funding? And even though it's a requirement by the Housing Authority, correct?
Correct. So HUD funds through our capital fund project the use of the environmental reviews. So HUD, it's an environmental requirement by HUD for us to do an environmental review for every capital project that we do. This could include anything involving redevelopment or demolition that would be covered under our capital fund project that's funded through HUD.
Okay, so again, I'm okay with doing this. I have no problem with this. So the capital grant of 2024, that helped cover a portion of this.
Right.
And then you show 50K from Haven on Hamilton.
Correct.
And why Haven on Hamilton?
Well, Haven on Hamilton is our second redevelopment project that we would be doing in housing, right? So there are other funds like developer fees and stuff that would cover those environmental reviews. So in regards to Site 2, right, because Site 2 and 3 are going to Villas on McQueen, those would kind of overlay under capital fund.
Got
I
it.
believe the additional 50,000, which is in here, would be covered under more development fees for the Haven on Hamilton.
Okay,
project.
so you have a path to where the funding will be coming from based on the project, correct?
Correct.
All right, that's what I was driving at.
No,
Thank you. Good
it's
job.
cool.
All
Thanks.
right.
All right, Council, we have a first and a second. Clerk, please take our votes.
Vice Chair Encinas,
Yes.
Commissioner Poston,
Yes.
Commissioner Ellis,
Yes.
Commissioner Orlando,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Hawkins,
Yes.
Chairman Hartkey.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, Council. That ends the Public Housing Authority Commission. It's for the video. Welcome to the Chandler City Council study session of February 2, 2026. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Clerk, please take the roll.
Mayor Hartkey,
Here.
Vice Mayor Encinas,
Here.
Councilmember Poston,
Here.
Councilmember Ellis,
Here.
Councilmember Orlando,
Here.
Councilmember Harris,
Here.
Councilmember Hawkins.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you so much. Next on our agenda is scheduled public appearances. I'd like to invite Councilmember Harris to join me out front. I got my spectacles. Nicely played, Angel.
I'll do the next one. I'll do all this.
All right, first we have some service recognitions, and let me turn this over to our city manager, John Pombier.
Mayor, Council, our first service recognition, I would ask Department Director Matt Burdick to come down and introduce Courtney Randolph and recognize her for 10 years of service.
All right, we'll give Courtney a moment to get up here. Courtney's usually working behind the scenes, so this is a public appearance we get to see Courtney. Courtney's been with the city for 10 years. Amazing to think it's been that long, Courtney. And has been a driving force behind the growth of our digital media division. When she joined us in 2016, she has helped raise the bar for the quality of our video work and has pushed the division into a new, stronger direction under the leadership of Stacy Sacco. Over the years, Courtney's played a significant role in mentoring her team members, helping them develop overall in the division, and helping it to become the award-winning group that it is today. For council, I know many of you are familiar with her work, but her work has earned us a regional Emmy, along with numerous Telly, NATOA, and Communicator awards. But what truly sets Courtney apart is how she shows up every single day. I'm gonna out you a little bit. Courtney has been State of the City Mayor. She spent the entire weekend here working. So she shows up and she's continued to work on those videos. So, and as her teammates are as well. They've all been here all weekend. Her professionalism, teamwork, and dedication make her someone that others rely on and look up to. Courtney's impact is felt not just in the final product, but in the people and the culture that makes this team successful. Courtney's passion for storytelling and innovation come through on every project. Courtney, I thank you for your 10 years of dedicated service to Chandler and our community, and congratulations, and we look forward to many, many, many more years.
We're going to take a photo. Stacy, would you like to join us for a photo? And Courtney, just on behalf of council, the work that you do for each and every one of us, we're extremely appreciative and grateful that, as Matt said, you bring stories to life. So thank you. All right.
25 or 30?
Scoot over this way.
35. This says 25. I don't know.
Thank you, Courtney.
Mayor and council, next I would ask Chief Brian Chapman to come down to recognize Tammy Silversmith for her years of service. And I'm going to let the chief regale you with the years of service because it is quite impressive. So I'm going to leave a little suspense in the air here.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'd like to invite Tammy Silversmith down to recognize for her 35 years of service to the Chandler. Before I read a little bit about Tammy, she brought her own cheering section here tonight. She's great. For 35 years, Tammy's been a steady and trusted employee with the Chandler Police Department. To give you a perspective on how long she's been with the department, when she was hired, the population of Chandler was 95,000 people. Most of Tammy's career has been devoted to managing outside agency reports, requests, and subpoenas. This meticulous, high-stake work requires accuracy, patience, and a deep understanding of the process. Tammy's handled it with exceptional skill and reliability. Tammy's efforts have helped maintain strong relationships with other agencies, ensuring our organization meets the highest standards. We're grateful for Tammy. She is a dedicated and kind team player. Whether offering support to a coworker or lending her expertise, she leads with generosity and genuine spirit. This is an incredible milestone, and tonight we celebrate not only Tammy's longevity, but the heart that you've brought to every one of those years. So congratulations, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mayor, Council, I would ask Community Services Director John Sefton to come on down. He is going to introduce Mickey Oland with Community Services for 30 years of service. I do editorialize occasionally, and what I will say is this gentleman, when you think of the parks we deliver to our residents, it is synonymous with his name. I introduce Mickey Oland.
Evening, Mayor, Council, and members here. Tonight, we celebrate a legacy of over 30 years, and it's with honor, respect, and heartfelt admiration that we announce the retirement of Mickey Oland, our Community Services Planning Senior Manager, who has dedicated his career to creating community through people, parks, and programs. Mickey joined the Community Services Department in May of 1995 as a landscape coordinator after graduating from Texas Tech University with a degree in landscape architecture, bringing with him valuable experience from those Texas communities of Richardson, Plano, and Denton. Over the past 3 decades, he has ascended through the pivotal roles, including Parks Planning Superintendent, Parks Development Operations Manager, all to lead to his current senior management capacity. Mickey's impact on Chandler is immeasurable. There is virtually no park space in the city that he has not influenced, from playgrounds to memorials to sports fields, skate parks, our now beloved pickleball courts and cricket pitches, and all our all-inclusive play features. He's known as our dependable and conscientious leader. He's mastered the art of meshing opposing opinions and navigating restricted budgets without ever compromising the final design or the quality of life for our residents. His teamwork approach and people skills have been a tremendous asset to our open and collaborative environment in Chandler, pushing new ideas and innovative design solutions that have truly made our town a premier community. As Mickey prepares for this next chapter, we extend a special thank you to his wife, Kelly, and his daughters for sharing his talents with us for so many years. Thank you, Mickey, for 3 decades of commitment, creativity, and fun. Your visionary work will continue to enhance the Chandler community for generations to come. So,
Yes.
I know it's tradition for us to do the clock, and being a parks professional, we've been able to secure a gift card to Arizona State Parks, as well as a lifetime pass to our national parks.
Yes.
Council, I heard Councilman Merlin, you'd like to say a few words about Mickey, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mickey, I've known you for a very, very, very long time. It's true, Mickey. Right, that's it. I was to get to that part, but I met a lot of Parks and Recs, met a lot of folks here, but the passion you display on a project is unmatched. I mean, you look at a piece of land and you turn into a art masterpiece. And I'm very sincere about this. The good examples of Veterans Memorial. It took about 10 years to develop, but it's probably it is an art masterpiece out there. And it was under your leadership that brought that together. Every pool, as John said earlier. One of the trademarks, Mickey, that I go on and tell you about how great guy you are, and I'm sure Shell will have a different opinion, but that's okay. We get that. One of the trademarks is, did you leave this place better than when you left, than you were hired? And Mickey, You hit it out of the ballpark. Thank you for all the work you've done, my friend. You're a superstar.
All right, I don't see any council members also rising, so we'll go to our next. We have another retirement recognition, and this is to Dana DeLong, our city clerk. All right, Dana, come here in the middle. So council appointed Dana DeLong in 2017, 9 years ago. This has been part of her 35-year career in Arizona local government, including Tucson, Prescott, and Chandler. You led processes and system improvements that have defined the role that the city clerk's office has done in Chandler. We asked you to focus when you came on staff development, on succession planning, and records management, and you did. You also improved our agenda management software for council and boards and commissions. You did the same with passport appointment systems and new passport point of sale systems. You stabilized what we're doing with our clerks, and you made the office a desirable place to be. You stabilized and forwarded our boards and commissions processes and made it easier for council and certainly easier for citizens and standardized so that they weren't so different over the years. You have a vast knowledge and experience, 30 years of election administration that has been an asset to candidates, that has helped with initiatives, bonds, sales tax, charter amendments, general plan, franchise, and home rule. And you figured out the only one in Arizona, if not one of the few in the nation, to do an AZ blockchain voting project mock election. That was pretty cool. You produced voter outreach and education materials, including animated videos and information brochures. You formalized and established Chandler citywide records programs, information programs, and we've now achieved our records portal that is great for public access and transparency. So citizens wanting to know what's going on in the city, you made that possible in your office through the hard work of staff between the clerk's office and law. We can all agree, already got that in my notes, Councilmember Orlando, that you left the clerk's office and the city of Chandler much better than when you came. You have been a trusted appointment of council. You have done what you said you would do, and we want to thank you. I've got one more sentence. We hope that when you need your passport renewed, that you will make an appointment right here in Chandler. And until then, we hope that you acquire many, many, many passport stamps, that you wear the thing out and need to come in early. So thank you. Council, would anybody like to say? We'll start with Councilmember Harris and then work. You get to stay right here.
Thank you, Dana. Jennifer, can you hand me? I got you a gift. It's underneath my desk. Yeah, there. Now be careful now. You gotta. Yeah, it's kind of heavy. The first gift was the you make my heart so happy. One thing that Dana is kind. She's a very kind person. She's always smiling, always happy, and always cheery. So I thought that was good. And then you can pull out the other stuff we have. This is okay. I didn't get her the real stuff. Okay. This is Martinelli's apple cider. I was gonna get her the real thing, but I thought she would take it more than just communion. Okay. And then I also got her Snoopy kisses, and then I got her a gift card. You don't got to pull the gift card out. Um, but that was to say thank you. Dana, it's been a journey. I think when I first met you, I was running for office, and you had so much insight to give to me about running for office and stuff like that. And I really appreciate the time that you've taken over these years and trying to make sure that our election system is amazing and making sure that our records are amazing. And I remember when you first started wanting to hire our new uh, city clerk, you had succession in your mind because you wanted to leave the city better than where you got it. And after all the amazing accomplishments that you have done, you also left us with legacy right here to trailblaze further. And so we're really excited about this part in your journey. And I just want to say thank you for being so amazing. Thank you.
Councilmember Poston.
Well, Dana, I just want to thank you so much. I think I met you and really got to know you a little more during the election, and that is such a nerve-wracking process. But you have always been such a calm voice of reason that and I am sure it continued through every election that you've ever been in, made the candidates feel like this was understandable and it's all going to be okay. And that's really how I felt. And just the knowledge that you brought to the table and your understanding really makes the process something more, so much calmer and easier than it could have been. And then since then, in our meetings, I had no idea, and I know I've expressed this to you multiple times, I had no idea how many improvements that someone could make. And that's somebody that loves what they do and is excellent at what they do, and the kind of person that just always strives for more. It's you are always looking for something a little bit better and how to make the process better. And, the final thing I was going to say is that succession planning is something that everybody talks about, but so few people do or do as well as you did. And what I should have noticed in all of those succession planning meetings, it meant that you knew you were going to leave someday. So shame on you. But what you did is you left us in very good hands because of your planning and your care and your thought to the future. And that's true leadership. So thank you very much and wishing you the best on all of those amazing trips.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Dana, you've been a stellar city clerk here, not only for us here in the city, but you've been a model for clerks across our state and even our country. And you've established such trust and confidence with our residents and with us here at the city that it shows across the board. And even as a candidate running for office, your professionalism and your handling of everything made me feel that we were going to be in good hands. And it made me feel very comfortable, as the rest of my council members have stated on here. And I can't talk about your work enough on passports. I recommend so many people to you. You have the service down, the customer service is excellent, and you've really elevated that level of service for us here at our city. We owe it all to you. So I thank you so much for that. You definitely made your mark here in our city. I want to thank you so much for your years here, and I'm going to miss talking about your trips and your next destinations because we're both big travelers. So I appreciate that, and I'm going to miss you. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Dana, what can we say about Dana? It has already been said. In the Air Force, we have a term that say, whether you fly high or low, you fly fast. And Dana flies fast. You got to keep up with her, and her staff's nodding their heads, so I know it's true. You have to keep up with Dana. And Dana, enough is never enough for you, and I appreciate that. I have a saying in my office. It says, do the right thing, do it right, and do it right away. You fit that, and I appreciate that. We're going to miss you. You're a rock star. Good luck. Good luck to you.
Jennifer, she wants to stay now. No. Councilmember Hawkins.
Dana, I just want to say, and actually, I really want to echo what everybody else has already said. You have been such a great example of what that office can do. My first interactions with the city were, again, like the others, was when I came to run for election. And that made all the difference in the world, to be honest. Like, you took something and you just made it very understandable and with a kind heart. And that's not an easy thing to do. And so I was very grateful. And I know that's not only with me, but that is just the way that you operate. And I see that with our community as well. So you have some big shoes to fill. I'm grateful for everything you've done, for every effort and energy you've put into our community. We're all super grateful. So we're going to miss you, obviously. Come back and visit anytime. You don't have to get a passport. We'll take you. But I look forward to hearing about all the fun you're going to have in your future. Thank you.
Councilmember Ellis.
Thank you, Mayor. I hope you could hear me loud and clear. Dana, it is said that we make plans, but it is the Lord that execute those plans. That was not the plan. So right now, I just flew in from Washington, D.C., a couple of hours ago, and I got to stop in your office, and we already done the crying, we already done the hugging. And so all I'm going to say right now is Godspeed. And don't forget us here in Chandler, because you are still have so much more to give to our community. So we will want you to stay engaged, come back and teach some classes. Let us know when in between flights, stop by, let us talk and see where you are. And of course, we are going to have a map where we're going to be pinpointing every place that you go so that we can follow Dana. And then at the end of the day, the slogan is going to be, where in the world is Dana? So that's going to be how we're going to move with this. We're going to continually think about you and the things that you have implemented that's been spoken of. But the one thing that I'm going to remember you for is the fact that when I came for the first time and we sat down and we spoke about what the future looked like for you in Chandler, I remember very clearly we discussed the fact that when you walk in a room, you needed to walk in like you own that room. And I've seen you develop into that. I had charged you to do it, and you did it. For that, I'm grateful to have seen you develop like that. May God continue to bless you and your family. Go ahead and have fun now. Thank you for your service.
I'm going to say a couple things. I was scared because I was afraid I would get emotional.
I'm gonna be your sign guy.
First of all, I want to thank all of you for this very kind recognition. It truly has been an honor to serve as Chandler City Clerk, and I don't say that lightly. This was the dream to be in a city like this and to be able to serve here. One thing I've always done is kind of joked about the fact that when you're a little kid and you're growing up and you're like, I wonder what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, I can promise you that there's no one, probably in the history of the world, that has said, I think I want to be a city clerk when I grow up. It's just something that doesn't happen. And yet, what happens is we find ourselves in these roles and we get here how we get here, but you don't realize how amazing it is to be able to serve communities in the role of a city clerk. I definitely want to thank the staff, the city clerk's staff. You are an incredible team. All these things that were said here today couldn't have been done without you guys. I appreciate you. I'm going to miss you guys more than they're going to teach me how to do my socials so I can so I can keep in track with them. But I do really appreciate all of you. Yeah, you've been great for me and for the city. I especially want to thank Mayor Hartke and the council for your support over the years. As you know, I'm an idea person. I always have tons of ideas, but I'm especially grateful to all of you who have patiently waited for me to figure out which one of those ideas were actually good. So a lot of times I would bring all these ideas and it's just like, I don't know about that. Let's go find another one. But you've allowed me to be able to push and stretch and figure out what is the next step. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if you guys weren't such forward-thinking leaders. So I think it was a really good match for that. I truly believe that I'm leaving this department in great hands. I'm really excited about to see what they do with the department from here. I wasn't going to say this because I was afraid I'd get too emotional, but my son's not here today because he has like a million kids. I have 4 grandkids, so he wasn't able to be here. But I want to say to my son Max that thank you for everything. You've been there with me every step of the way. I'll never forget some of those years driving in. We were going to take you to school. You're still in your car seat, kindergartner. And I'd say, Max, do you know what year this is? And he'd say, what? And I said, it's an election year. And he'd go, oh man. So, but thank you, Max. I appreciate all of you, all you've done for me and being there with me. I'm truly going to miss working here. So thank you.
Let's do a photo.
Thank you. Please add me in that picture.
Councilmember Ellis, are you smiling for the photo?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have a few proclamations we're going to read. The first is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. If I could call up our Domestic Violence Commission, and I'm going to invite Councilmember Harris to read this one. A passion of yours. Why don't you guys get in the middle over here? Councilmember Harris.
Proclamation. Whereas approximately 1.5 million high school students in the United States are victims of physical, emotional, and verbal abuse from dating partners each year. And whereas nationally, 1 in 3 homicides of girls ages 11 through 18 years old are committed by an intimate partner. And whereas over 70% of women and over 60% of men first experienced intimate partner violence prior to the age of 25, prior to the age of 25, and whereas teen dating violence has serious short-term and long-term consequences, including future abusive relationships, suicidal thoughts, depression, anxiety, and substance misuse. And whereas young people learn about relationships from those around them, so it's important to model healthy relationships in our homes, workplace, and larger community. And whereas the City of Chandler Domestic Violence Commission is a resource committed to supporting teens, families, schools, and the greater community to prevent teen dating violence and help all young people grow up free from violence. Now, therefore, I, Kevin Harkey, Mayor of the City of Chandler, Arizona. He has a bald head now. He may be a little dark skinned, but it's okay. It's Mayor Kevin Harkey. Do hereby proclaim February 2026 as Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. City Council, excuse me. Thank you so very much for taking the time to talk about teen dating violence and for the proclamation. You spit out a lot of numbers there, which I know can be tongue twisting. And for a lot of us, math can be very traumatizing. So let me give you a bigger figure. 1.5 million high school students are currently experiencing teen dating violence. That is a huge number. And we know that only 1 out of every 32 will ever tell a trusted adult. So I'm very honored to be here with the DV Commission and with the City of Chandler, doing everything we can to make sure that the adult allies have what's necessary to have the hard conversations with our youth, but also to let them know that it's okay to leave an abusive relationship and that any relationship can be healthy, unhealthy, or abusive, and even healthy relationships can have unhealthy moments. With this knowledge and with the city's proclamation, I hope that we can let the youth here know that they are supported. And also, I want to say it's very important to me because as a survivor of teen dating violence, I can tell you it has lifelong ramifications. And I wouldn't be here doing the work that I do if it weren't for the adult allies that I had as a young adult. Thank you.
All right, let's do a photo.
Thank you.
All right, next we have another proclamation having to do with Not in Our City Week. If Pastor Gowan, if you would come up, any other representatives with you? Thank you, sir. Have a proclamation. Whereas human trafficking is a serious crime that exploits vulnerable individuals and threatens the safety, dignity, and well-being of communities across Arizona and the nation. And whereas the Not in Our City initiative works collaboratively with residents, faith leaders, nonprofits, and public officials to raise awareness, prevent exploitation, and support survivors of human trafficking. And whereas education, vigilance, and community partnerships are essential to identifying trafficking activity and ensuring victims receive protection, resources, and pathways towards restoration and hope. And whereas the battle against human trafficking includes supporting efforts in schools, churches, nonprofits, law enforcement, and businesses to intervene, disrupt, and dismantle human trafficking syndicates and provide resources to and support for victims of human trafficking. And whereas the City of Chandler is committed to promoting public safety, human dignity, and a community culture that declares exploitation and abuse have no place within our city. Now, therefore, I, Kevin Hartke, Mayor of the City of Chandler, Arizona, do hereby proclaim January 21st through 27th, 2026, as Not in Our City Week in the City of Chandler, Arizona, and urge residents, churches, schools, businesses, and law enforcement to work together to eliminate trafficking from our community and support the efforts of frontline organizations in their battle against human trafficking. Pastor.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, City Council. Chandler has been super supportive and leading the way in our state. Now we have 22 cities that have made the proclamation. The state has made the proclamation. Pinal County next week will be making proclamation. The Senate has made the proclamation. And, 8 years ago, we had our first Night of Hope one right here in Chandler. And this February 22nd will be Night of Hope number 8. We've had over 15,000 people participate, hundreds of elected officials, law enforcement, frontline organizations and ministries have been a part. We've seen hundreds rescued. We've seen hundreds pushing to thousands arrested over the last 8 years. This darkness is very evil and dark, and we got to continue to shine a light until it's driven out of every city in Arizona. And so we appreciate your continued support, all the city council, the city, the law enforcement, and want to invite everybody out to our Night of Hope 8. It's going to be on the west side this year at Pure Heart Church. We're expecting thousands of people, hundreds of elected officials, and our presence makes a difference. This proclamation matters, and continuing to make this proclamation makes a difference because it is bringing awareness, and our words of proclamation are going into the airwaves and shining a light on a darkness that we have to continue shining until it's driven out of every city and in our entire state. So it's February 22nd at Pure Heart Church at 5. Everyone's invited. It's a family-friendly event. It starts at 5 o'clock, and thank you again for your support, Mayor.
And is there information, a website for more on this night and other activities?
Yeah, you can go to notinourcity.com and org, and you'll find all the information and other ministries and organizations that are also fighting that. But you can find that information there on the website.
Great. Let's do a photo.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Gowan. All right, we've got one more. I'd like to invite John McCatton, the president of CARE Inc. and for our cities and towns. And Mayor Dunn, please come up here. There's a mic right there if you, whatever you want to say. Yeah, right here. Right there.
I don't know where the mic is. I'm on the mic. All right. Thank you, Mayor Hartke and City Council for this opportunity to do something that is, it's been time. It's been a long time, but it's now time, and that is to honor former Mayor Boyd Dunn for his vision for our city, Chandler. And one of my favorite stories about you is when we were gathering in your office and we had started Forest City Tempe and 20 years ago. And we were going to bring iHelp into the city and some of the other programs and city service days. And we had this meeting and we had a number of nonprofits and faith leaders around this table. And we said, you asked the question, what is it that you have done lately to serve the community? And about 9 individuals stood up and said, well, we did backpack drives. And I'll never forget this. In fact, I wrote it in my book. You pushed your chair back almost in uncontrollable laughter. And you said, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but all I can see is one kid with 9 backpacks saying to himself, I've got my backpack for school. Now, how can I sell these 8? And the reason why that was so impactful to me is because at that point, CARE Inc. and Forest City was just looking at events. And what you did is you pointed a way to maximize the overlap of great things that were going on in the city. Since then, we've had 13 for our cities that have taken the model that you shared, that you initiated in overlapping resources, and have produced award-winning, national award-winning programs where cities come together and towns come together and say, we are better together. So we are giving you the Founder Award. We thank you very much.
Do you want to say anything?
Sure. You're asking a former mayor if they want to say a few words. First of all, 20 years, my goodness. That seems like a long time ago. And especially with these individuals retiring today, there's not many people left, Mayor. Mickey, that's congratulations. That's super. During my time, my hair turned gray. And what happened to yours? That was a joke, sorry. But anyway, the true, I have to be thankful to the council. This was a vision of council. I was sitting in this chair when we conceived the idea. but this council and others have brought forward. Councilman Lander, you were there. And a special thanks to you, Mayor Harkey. I knew I had the person I could delegate this responsibility to. Based on your involvement in the community already, you took this to the next level. And I appreciate that hard work. Makes me look good, but you should be the one receiving this award. Um, and then City Manager, thank you for staff's involvement. This was a unique idea to have staff involved with citizens and nonprofits and churches to try to get more stuff and needs done in the city of Chandler. And it was just great to see how staff received that responsibility. I've worked on it for years and years. So council, thank you for your continuing support for our city. It's greatly appreciated. It's an honor to be here. Thank you very much.
Well, let's take a photo.
Sure. Yes. I also wanted to thank Leah Powell because we have partnered together and worked together, and truly what Forest City Chandler has accomplished is a great compliment to you. Thank you.
Thank you. A lot of great announcements and exciting things tonight. Next, we have our consent agenda items called in, and I have one, maybe two. Councilmember Lander, did you get your question answered on item number 2?
Yeah, staff's going to get back to me later this week. So yeah, thank you.
All right. Item number 6, called in by Councilmember Harris, looking for Micah Miranda to give information on the foreign trade zone designation.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Is my presentation up? There we go, perfect. So I will walk you through a brief presentation on this foreign trade zone application, a little bit about the history, a little bit about where Chandler is, and happy to take any questions when I wrap up. So what is a foreign trade zone? Foreign trade zone program is nearly 100 years old, and it's functionally administered by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. And what this program does is it offers special tools for importers and exporters, and it functionally treats an area inside an FTZ or FTZ subzone as out of the jurisdiction of the U.S. Customs Border Protection for the sake of those items. In doing so, this could help offset advantages available to overseas producers that compete with U.S. companies. Oop, did I skip two? Oop. So there's a host of programs, duty deferral, duty exemption, duty reduction, as well as total duty elimination on merchandise that is obsolete, damaged, or destroyed. So this program, when we set it up inside Chandler for our businesses, it really helps them compete on a global scale in today's landscape. Right now, oh, there we go. So the city of Chandler doesn't administer the FTZ programs. We partner with the city of Phoenix. They are the official grant administrator for the FTZ. We partner with them on these subzones. In 2018, we initiated the first FTZ designation for Avnet on its 60 South McKinney Avenue facility, and now they're seeking an additional designation for their Morelos place. They've determined as required that the designation will provide significant cost savings to them and their operations. In Arizona, we have an additional benefit that is available to the taxpayers through property tax reclassification, but we are not pursuing this with Avnet, as generally when we have these projects come forward, we don't apply the tax reduction unless it's associated with a larger project, excuse me. So in Chandler, right now we have 10 existing FTZs in place. This will make the 11th council. And we have a couple in the hopper that we're working with the business community on right now. So happy to answer any questions you may have.
Councilmember Harris, any
Yes.
questions?
Yeah, thank you. Micah, can you go back a few slides? The one where you talked about the benefit,
Mhm.
the beneficial that they chose not to opt in on. Isn't this?
Oh, yeah. So it's that highlighted one at the bottom. This program doesn't have any direct tax implications to the city or any of our taxpayers. It merely allows Avnet to operate their business more efficiently through the existing federal regulations.
I think it's a different slide. Can you go forward? Let me see. I should have. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, wait a minute. Go back further. I'm sorry. Go back further. Okay, keep going. Okay, keep going. Okay, keep going. Keep going.
That's all we got.
That's all we got. Wait a minute. Okay. Well, anyways, my question is this. Within the trade zone, Avnet has decided not to opt in to take further benefits from that. But once we actually move this particular parcel into that trade zone, even though they may not be opting for the additional benefits, what stops them from opting into those additional benefits later in the future?
Through the mayor, Councilmember Harris, should FTZ property tax reclassification be desired by Avnet, they have to go back through the city to get our approval as well as approval from the taxing entities.
And
so
then-
they can't get that reclassification through the county until all those letters have been satisfied.
And is this, if we, so I guess we're giving another piece of our parcel to the federal government, essentially. We're designating a portion of it for FTZ. We're designating this particular property for FTZ, and that allows the benefits for Avnet. What benefit do they officially get, like in the most shortest term? What's their benefit?
Through the mayor, Councilor Harris, the property doesn't get transferred fee simple to the federal government. Avnet still maintains control. All Avnet gets is import export advantages for those goods brought into these two locations in Chandler.
And then those goods are typically what type of goods?
Through the mayor, Councilmember Harris, those goods primarily through Avnet's primary business lines are electronics related components.
And then it mentioned like Border Patrol, it mentioned that area of conversation. Is that more so in terms of how they designate security to that area, or how that's underneath that particular area? That's that particular law enforcement group typically monitors federally traded zone areas. Is that my understanding?
Through the mayor, Councilmember Harris, no, it's not monitored by Border Patrol. It's monitored by Border Protection, which oversees goods coming into and out of the country. And so what this simply does is it treats that property as exempt from the tariffs, different import-export controls placed on those goods until further time. So it's really a benefit to the companies on a cash flow basis.
And then basically, and I just trying to put it really into perspective. If I go out of the country, I bring back more than $1,000 worth of goods. Custom Border Patrol says, "Hey, we need to know a little bit more about these goods that you paid for, these valuable goods that you paid for from over the seas, and now you're coming into America with those goods." And basically, basically this area right here says, okay, if they export something to China, there's no that tax is, that tariff or that tax is basically coming from, that's not something that that company is paying for, correct?
Through the mayor, Councilmember Harris, when an item comes into a foreign trade zone, it still goes through the normal customs and border inspection manifest confirmation. This just treats those items that come into the zone as not eligible for import-export duties until it's exported at a different time. That has a lot of advantages for businesses, but it's primarily a cash flow issue. Which is why a lot of the businesses seek it.
And then my last question is, you mentioned that we already have several of these trade zones already. Why look to add another addition to the trade zones if there's already trade zones designees already in the city of Chandler? I think you said around 11 or so. So why add another? Why designate another corporation, other business for that type of benefit that a lot of the taxpayers may not be able to get?
Yeah, through the mayor, Councilmember Harris, each site that receives this subzone designation is unique. So a business can have multiple locations throughout a community, and those activities at that location may not be germane to the impacts of the foreign trade zone program. So it's not a requirement. Which is kind of the short answer there. So as companies have different operations around the community, they may come into the community, their business operations may see this as an advantage. And again, there's no implication to property taxpayers.
And then in terms of the enforcement action of it, the enforcement action is covered by the federal government. We don't necessarily, once we designate this over, the city of Chandler is not necessarily the designee of overseeing any enforcement of any sort once we designate this particular property to the foreign trade zone.
Through the mayor, Councilmember Harris, that is correct. We have no oversight.
Okay. So in the only time that we will interact, unless there's obviously fire or something traumatic is happening at that time.
Through the mayor, Councilmember Harris, that is absolutely correct. This is an economic development tool to help support our growing businesses.
And does the city of Chandler lose any money, or, because considering that this business may pay utilities to the city of Chandler for using our utilities, and do the taxpayers pay, will the city of Chandler lose any money, or will we suffer any revenue lost designating this particular property for a federal trade zone?
Through the mayor, Councilman Harris, no, it has no direct financial implication to the city. And on the contrary, it's going to have an increase economic activity. So we may see ancillary induced and indirect economic impacts.
And then the last question is, what happens if this business goes out of business? Does that property remain federally trade zone, or is a federally trade zone connected only to the business at hand? Does it go back to, what happens if they sell or go under? What does that look like?
Through the mayor, Councilmember Harris, it's site specific, business specific. So businesses have options to terminate their designation. But in your instance, if the company, for whatever reason, relocates, the site subzone application isn't relevant to any future party.
And then I guess maybe this is my last question. Perhaps
maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Just in terms of the actual partnership collaboration, why are these businesses not collaborating with, there's already other trade zones? Is it, I know you said specific based, so there's no other businesses doing the same thing Avnet is doing?
Through the mayor, Councilmember Harris, there are numerous businesses involved in different degrees and supply chain associated with it, but each business needs to have their own FTZ subzone designation. You can't share between sites.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Micah, maybe it would be helpful if you sent to Councilmember Harris and the rest of us just a bullet fact sheet on FTZs just for our memory.
Yeah, we'd be happy.
That would be helpful, probably.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Great. All right, Council, those were the only item called in. So with that, that concludes our study session. We'll see you back on Thursday voting on these items with a few other agenda items.
Thank you, Mayor.